You know what's funny? I think I like have a pretty good vocabulary and then I film and I'm like, is that even a word? Hey guys, it's Story. Welcome to my channel. I feel really weird right now because I'm on the opposite side that I normally am. Usually I'm on this side showing the books over here. I just feel so weird right now, but this is just gonna have to do. I'm still trying to figure out my filming situation, so you'll see in my videos I'm gonna be like kind of all over the place with a different background every time. So excuse that, and also excuse my closet in the background. It's a bit messy. It's just there. I actually don't even have enough room right now to close the closet doors, so we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna roll with it. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys what I plan on reading this summer. So right now it is the middle of June. I know technically like feels like it's already summer. I probably should have done this video a week or two ago, but the summer solstice isn't until June 21st, so I still have a couple days. I'm probably going to post this on June 21st, if not then a couple days later. Not like you guys care, but that's what I plan on doing. This summer's going to be a little bit different for me this year compared to last year because last year I read the Harry Potter series last summer and I think it's kind of hard to top that. The past couple books I've actually read have been freaking amazing. I was actually going to put this book in this video, but I've already read it, and that's Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Can you see that? I just finished this last night, you guys. And wow, I will link my Legendary release day vlog down below. It was a couple weeks ago. It's like 450 pages, something like that, and I finished it last night. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. My Goodreads is always linked down below too. I should have a review up there by now. But wow, so I still kind of am including this book in this video because here right now, but I don't plan to read this because I already read this actually. So pretty much like my spring TBR, I have some fantasy options and I also have some contemporary options because The Hating Game by Sally Thorne got me in a little bit of a contemporary mood, but I gotta say Legendary has put me back into a fantasy mood. So now I'm just kind of like trying to figure out what mood I'm in to read. First, I'm going to show you guys 4 books that I am choosing between to read. These books are all from Book of the Month. I will have a link down below for you guys to go to Book of the Month if you've never been there. They actually have changed their whole like business model recently. It's $15 every time you choose to get a book that month. So if you don't get a book that month, you're not charged. For example, for June, I didn't like any of these selections, so I'm not getting a book, so they don't charge me. And the whole reason I'm reading my Book of the Month selections is because I'm planning on doing a Book of the Month review here on my channel. I'm going to read all the books I got from Book of the Month. How many times can you say book in like a minute? But yeah, people ask me all the time about Book Outlet, if I like it, what the prices are, how it works, if the selections are good. So what I'm going to do is just like make a Book of the Month review video, read all my books, share with you guys all my ratings, and then like an overall rating of Book of the Month. I'm pretty excited to do that. So I'm trying to read my books this summer. Probably won't happen because I have a couple of books from there that are like fall books. They're kind of like thrillers or mysteries, so I plan on reading those this fall. But anyways, here are my book selections. So first is the book I'm literally going to pick up today or tomorrow whenever I get to it, and that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I am so excited to read this, you guys. It's not very long. I feel like I'll get through it pretty fast, but I have heard nothing but amazing things about this book. It is about a girl named Asa who is trying to pursue the mystery of fugitive billionaire Russell Pickett. But there's a $100,000 reward at stake, and her best and most fearless friend Daisy is eager to investigate. I've heard a lot of people say that like the synopsis of this book isn't truly what it's about. It mainly focuses on Asa's anxiety and OCD, which I am so excited to read because I really want to read a book about anxiety. The first book I picked up about anxiety was not very good. It's actually the worst book I've read this year. It's called 10 Things I Can See From Here by Carrie Mack. I gave it 1 star on Goodreads, so if you don't have me on Goodreads, again, feel free to add me as a friend. I will add you back. But I really want to pick up a book that does have a better representation of anxiety. And everyone literally gives this 5 stars, so I'm super, super excited to read this. It is going to be the next book I pick up. John Green is actually from my home state of Indiana, so I'm excited to give him a shot. I've never read a book from him, surprisingly. But yeah, this is the next book I'm picking up. I also got that book as a free like add-on book. It wasn't my actual selection, that's why it doesn't have the Book of the Month little logo on it. And another book I chose as my like free add-on book, it wasn't like a selection of the month, is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So book of the month actually exposed me to this book. The first time I saw this book cover and the synopsis and everything was on book of the month, and I really debated getting it. I really wanted to get it, but I ended up not getting it. Thank God they have it as like a book you can select to come with your other books now, because now I obviously want to read it because I got it. I've seen Emma Books talk about this. A couple other people have mentioned it, but it seems as if after Emma Books read it, it's kind of gotten some, like, I wouldn't say hype, just more people are reading it and talking about it now. I guess that is hype. But this is about a reporter who is interviewing this old famous celebrity. She used to be like super famous, but she's like older now, I guess. Interviewing her, and she's explaining her life. It's like a biography, and apparently she's talking about the 7 husbands she's had. The synopsis isn't something I would typically go for, but like everyone that has read this really loves this, so I'm excited to pick it up. Yeah, so that's one of my options. The book that I chosen as my May selection was How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. So I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know what this book is about. I read the synopsis a couple times. I'll go ahead and read the first paragraph for you guys, just so you have something to go off of. But honestly, like, after reading the synopsis, I'm still just like, I still don't know what the book's about. Margaret Jacobson is just about to step into the bright future she's worked so hard and so long for. A new dream job, a fiance she adores, and the promise of a picture-perfect life just around the corner. Then suddenly, on what should have been one of the happiest days of her life, everything she worked for is taken away in a brief moment, because I can't say the second to last word. I know this has romance in it. I know it's a romance. I don't even know how to explain this, but she's like just faced with a bunch of struggles, and it's kind of, I don't want to say a motivational book, but like kind of. I know it deals with like a tough, intense romance maybe she needs to get away from, and that's why it's called How to Walk Away. I don't know if you guys can notice, but I have no idea what this book is about. I was really intrigued to have this as my selection after I read the synopsis and I saw a couple people talk about it. I don't read romances, but The Hating Game has got me kind of in a romance mood, so that's the good thing about these book of the month selections. I have kind of a wide selection to choose from. I'm gonna get to all of these this summer, hopefully. But yeah, this is kind of like a romance type option. And then my other romance option from book of the month is White Fur by Jardine Lebert. This is a true romance. I don't know if the last book is a romance, to be honest, but this is a true romance. I do know that. I chose this book as my book of the month selection last year. It was literally like last June. It's been a full year and I still haven't read this. It's not that I don't like romances. I love when books have romance in them. I don't know. I guess I just have to be in the mood for it. It says, a stunning star-crossed love story set against the glitz and grit of 1980s New York City. I think it was like compared to like Romeo and Juliet in the 80s in New York City, and I think that's what sold me on it. I love Romeo and Juliet. Who doesn't love Romeo and Juliet? But I don't even know what the cover is. It's just zoomed in on her face, I guess, but I don't know why I like the cover so much. But yeah, this intrigued me too, so if I am in the mood for romance, I'm definitely going to pick this one up. I don't know out of these two which ones I'll pick up first. Maybe this one? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Those 4 are my book of the month selections I have to read this summer. Now I'm going to get into my fantasy options. I have 2. This first one is probably what I'm going to pick up after Turtles All the Way Down, because I'm really excited to read it and I want to read it before the movie comes out. And if that doesn't give you a hint, it is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I feel like I don't even need to like explain this book to you guys. You probably know what it is by now. So there's been a disease that has killed off a lot of Americans, but the only like kids to survive, I believe, are this group of kids. Our main character, Ruby, is with this group of kids, and they all have like magical abilities because they were immune to this disease or something like that. And our main character, Ruby, wakes up in a rehab camp with these other kids where she has been put in by like the government. I guess you could say this is a dystopian. I haven't read, have I ever read a dystopian? I don't think I've read a dystopian yet, unless, if Scythe is a dystopian, if Scythe is a dystopian, I haven't read that book either. What am I talking about? Anyways, what I'm getting to is I would like to see if I like dystopians by reading this book, and like I said, the movie is about to come out, and so I really want to read it before the movie. but this does seem like a pretty chunky book. I know there's like 3 more books in this series, so the fact that it's a series scares me. But I am gonna read this book and see if I like it and see if I want to continue with the series. So that is my first fantasy option this summer. And then my second one is The Host by Stephenie Meyer. I have had this on my TBR since I read Twilight. As most of you know, I had a very large portion of my life where I did not read, mainly high school. I stopped reading in like 9th grade high school and didn't pick up until halfway through college. So a long time I didn't read. But as most of you know, if you watch my channel, I was and am obsessed with the Twilight saga. Stephenie Meyer is my favorite author and it's never gonna change. I don't care what anyone says. I know that's super cringy for some people, but yes, I'm sure you all know what this is about. There's a movie about it. I have watched the movie like 5 times, but I heard that the people that read this book did not like the movie, and if you like the movie, it's probably because you didn't read the book. So what I'm guessing is this just gets like way more into detail. You're more into the main character's head where you can hear her and Wanda's voices. I mean, look how big this book is. Like, this is definitely more detailed than the movie, I have a feeling. If you don't know what it's about, pretty much aliens have taken over Earth and they inhabit human bodies. Inhabitat? You know what's funny? I think I like have a pretty good vocabulary and then I film and I'm like, is that even a word? But anyways, our main character has an alien take over her, but she's still like in her body, so it's kind of her fighting off this alien kind of taking over her life and all the drama and like fantastical things that circle that. I feel like I'm horrible at explaining synopsises, guys. I'm so sorry. So my last 2 books on this TBR are my contemporary options. I don't know when I'm actually going to get to these because I thought I was in a contemporary mood and then I read legendary. But the first one I have is The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. I do not have the Dust Jacket on here because I actually started reading this. I picked this up before Legendary and read like the first 5 or 6 chapters in this. But once I started reading Legendary, I had to put this away and like not even think about it because I was so obsessed with Legendary at the time. I told myself I was going to read this right after Legendary, but I'm just not in the mood to read this. I did like what I read, but like nothing really happened. It also was the very beginning of the book though, so obviously like nothing's gonna happen in the beginning of the book. But let's just appreciate this book naked. Like, I love that. I have a lot of contemporary to choose from, but I only have 2 fantasy to choose from. I don't know why I did that to myself, but apparently I thought I was in the mood for contemporary. We'll see if that lasts. But this book is about rape culture. I don't want to say she's our main character because there's like 5 or 6 different viewpoints, but the girl you first read from and you read from often is the sister of a girl that was raped and died, I believe. Yeah, she died. But there is some other viewpoints, so I'm not really sure if she is the actual main character. I'm pretty sure she is. I don't know. But other than that, I don't really know anything about it. I just know it's about rape culture and everyone freaking loves this book. A lot of people had this as their favorite book of 2017, so that's why I picked it up. And yeah, that's my first option for contemporary. My second option is Bad Romance by Heather Demetrios. I've had this book on my channel a couple times now, but pretty much what it's about is our main character is going through a bad romance with a guy, and this book supposedly just kind of picks apart where relationships go wrong and kind of the equation to like love and bad romance and toxic relationships, I guess. That's the only way I really know how to describe it. That's how I have seen someone describe it on BookTube. I can't remember who it was, but I've always wanted to pick up the book since I had seen them talk about it, and I just freaking love the cover. This is actually featured in my top 10 book covers on my bookshelf video, which I will link down below. But yeah, every time I look at my bookshelf, my eyes go directly to this book and the spine. I just think it's so pretty. I want to read it so bad just because of the cover, which usually that ends up bad for me because lately when I read books just because of the cover, I haven't been liking them. But I'm still gonna read this one because I never learn. But yeah, I guess I have a lot of romance options. I would like to thank The Hating Game for that. I'm gonna link my review of that down below too, by the way. It has a romance in there that I absolutely loved. Joshua Templeman is freaking amazing. I'm obsessed with him. Those are all the books I'm gonna read this summer. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, that's all I got, so I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.